What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing my first impressions of the game Genshin Impact. Now, just some quick housekeeping. This isn't a review or a guide. It's just my personal experience with the game itself. There are many things I'm still yet to come into, and there are things that I still don't fully understand myself. So, at the time of the video, I've only put in about 20 hours into the game, so it's nothing too spectacular, but it's enough hours that I've put in for me to grasp an idea of how the game actually plays itself. Now, to avoid spoilers, I'm only going to be showing, I guess, some scenic shots and some really early in-game locations. I'm not going to be showing any of the missions or anything like that, because I believe this is the kind of game where you should experience pretty much all of it yourself on the first time. Now, if you do want to watch me stream this, I am playing this on twitch.tv/PixelSean. All my other social links are down in the description below. Now, as I said before, I've only put about 20 hours into this game. What I didn't mention was that this 20 hours is only in 2 sittings. I've put 10 hours into 2 days, and I don't do that for any game. Usually I get to about 20-25 hours in a game, and I just get bored and stop. This game, for whatever reason, has hooked me. I look forward to playing this when I get up, and it's just constantly on my mind of all the different things that you can do, and I'm not even a fan of anime. So we're going to be going through my experience in the game and just trying to find what has actually gripped me into this world. So this is known as a gacha game. For those who have no idea what that actually was, like me, it's a game that implements a gacha system. Now, a gacha system can be essentially thought of as a capsule toy vending machine where you basically unlock gears, players, weapons, etc. From a large pool at random. Now, like Genshin, a lot of these gacha games are free to play. However, a lot of those free to play games sort of rely on you to pay with microtransactions. You can pay for things with real money in this game, or you can spend absolutely nothing. Through playing this game and actually listening to a lot of other people who put more hours into it, you're not punished if you don't want to spend a single cent in this game. You will, yes, of course, level faster if you do decide to purchase upgrades and all that sort of stuff, but you can get those upgrades for free if you just put in the time. And it's not some ridiculous grind fest either. It doesn't feel like you're at a major disadvantage against other players who have paid to get certain upgrades. Now, no spoilers, but the basic story here when you start off is that you start off and you choose between 2 siblings. The other one is taken away, and it's your job to live within this new world and find out what happened to your sibling while meeting all these new characters. You can have a party of 4 with you, which you can change on the fly. You do unlock more characters as you play, and again, these are kind of at random, or they can even be based on the particular mission that you're playing. For example, I've done some missions with Lisa the librarian, so I've unlocked her. I've also done missions with Diluc, but I haven't unlocked him yet. Each character does have a star rating, and this pretty much indicates how rare they are. So Diluc, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, has a 5-star rating, meaning he's extremely rare to roll. There's something like a 1.2% chance that you roll him when you start the game. When I first played, I used a wish, which is a system that I'm not really going to get into. There are guides online explaining this much better than I could. But I used a wish, and I managed to roll a 4-star character, Sucrose. She's not the rarest, but she's actually quite good. Again, I'm not going to get into all the intricacies of all the systems here. There are guides online that explain it much, much better than I can. So on to the characters. They all possess some kind of elemental power. These powers, while cool on their own, are much, much more impressive in tandem with other players. So each player gets 2 special attacks. One is E, where that has a much shorter cooldown, and then you have the Q, where that's your big special attack. Now, when playing in tandem and mixing and matching your attacks with other players in your party, some players will actually synergize and create an elemental resonant effect. So as you can see on your screen now, if you have 2 players of the same element, they could provide certain buffs. If you also have 4 people who all have different elements, you get a buff for that as well. So what I like to do is I like to have a different element for each character. This way you can actually combine attacks and make even stronger attacks on the field. So I'm going to be showing you an early example in the game. So you unlock Amber. She is a fire elemental. Now what I do here is I light the ground on fire, and then I switch to my main character who is air, and then I go ahead and throw a tornado through that fire. That tornado then becomes a fire tornado. So just mixing and matching these different elemental attacks like this to see what can be combined and see how they actually look has been so much fun to me. Another example is if you strike someone with lightning using Lisa, they'll have a lightning effect over their head, and then you can swap to a fire like Amber and shoot them for extra damage in their overload state. So it's been so fun for me to play around with various combinations and different characters just to see what I can come up with. Now, this isn't Pokemon. You do get characters where you can freeze them and then you can go ahead and use fire. So for me, I thought, okay, well if I freeze them and I just use fire, it's just going to go ahead and cancel out any of the damage. No, you actually get melt damage. So don't think that, one element might cancel out another. Try the combinations, you never know what you might come across. So here are currently all the players that I have in my party. They're all different elemental types and all that sort of stuff. Some I've rolled, some I've unlocked through playing the story. Now you'll notice that some have ascended. This is available once you reach adventure rank 15 and the character has reached level 20 out of 20. You can ascend them for a bigger stat. Very similar to BDO, Black Desert Online, if you've played that, where you can send and they can basically become a stronger version of themselves. You do need to get certain materials. The game will tell you which materials you'll need to ascend each individual player. It's different for each player, but you can only do this once you've reached adventure rank 15 or above. Now onto the visuals. I have seen this comment spread around so many times online that it's just a Breath of the Wild Zelda copy. Yes, I can see similarities. There are so many differences from Zelda, and you really start to see that when you actually get into the game and start playing itself. There are similarities in the visuals and the cooking mechanics. They even had dungeons and unlocking the map via the regions, via the tower. But these things aren't new, and Zelda didn't come up with them. Again, this game really starts to differentiate once you actually start getting into it, but I can see on the surface it does look very, very similar to Breath of the Wild. One issue I did have with Breath of the Wild is that the open areas just felt empty. In my personal experience in this game so far, you do come across a lot more in those open fields. It feels a lot more full, the world feels a bit more realized and just packed with things to do. In Breath of the Wild, you can get into a field and there's just absolutely nothing going on, which can make the traversing a little bit tedious. Again, having played both games myself, I can say without a doubt to me that these games feel incredibly different. So as I said before, Genshin Impact does have dungeons like Breath of the Wild, where you essentially go into a certain room or location and it's separate from the entire world. It's like its own little hub world, where in these you fight enemies, solve puzzles in order to get to the end of the dungeon, where you can get rewards or certain mission items that you're actually looking for. This can be used to either progress the story or just find rare items. You can always revisit these at a higher level. They will become a little bit more dangerous, but obviously with that comes new rewards.
No escape.
Now going into the missions lightly now. Again, no spoilers, but there are main mission stories, there are world mission stories, side missions, there's a whole bunch of missions. And look, some missions you can unlock just by talking to an NPC who have the blue text under them. So if you're needing any extra XP, you can just walk around and find an NPC that has blue text and you'll get a brand new mission from them. So it could be a simple thing like go find 3 berries so you can help someone cook, or it could range to find 5 ancient tablets, and then you start awakening these ancient robots and you have to defeat and fight them and deciphering these tablets, and it's just crazy. The variety in the side missions alone make them so fun, and it's always exciting to pick more up. The side missions as well are actually a really good way to level up your character. So as I said before, if you're looking for any extra XP or anything, definitely start walking around, speak to some NPCs and pick up a mission. Now, the main story and world missions are locked to your adventure rank. So there are some missions and story missions that are capped or locked away until you reach a certain adventure rank. You can increase your adventure rank by doing missions, doing tasks, opening chests, etc. So what it was recommended to me, and I would actually recommend to you guys, is if you are playing this on day 1, you try to get to adventure rank 12. Once you do this, you can speak to Catherine here in Mondstadt, who will actually give you daily tasks to complete. You'll get, I think, about 4, and completing these tasks, you'll get a reward for each task, and then when you come back to Catherine once you've completed all 4, you'll get a completion bonus as well. Not only that, Catherine goes ahead and rewards you for each single time your adventure rank goes up. So she is incredibly useful to you if you're looking for XP or things to do. Now at the time of this recording, I'm only adventure rank 16, and this is where you can actually unlock multiplayer. So now I've never actually gone ahead and tried multiplayer aside from this recording. So it's very, very, very simple. I've gone ahead, sent out a few requests. This was the first person to go ahead and accept that request. And as you can see, I just jumped into their world. We unlocked this fog thing, and then we've gone ahead and we've just fought some enemies together. We both got a reward out of it, and then I left. It's so simple to drop in and out of people's world. Now, you can go ahead and drop into strangers' worlds. You can set your settings to have people drop into yours, or send you a request, or not at all. And you can even add your friend's user ID so you can play with people that you know. That's only if you don't want to, play with complete strangers. It's such an easy and versatile way to network with people and engage with people on different platforms. Now, speaking of networking and different platforms, this game actually supports cross-play and cross-save. So you could be playing on PC and then have someone join your game who's playing on their phone. At the moment, this game is available on PC, iOS, Android, iPad, and PS4. It is coming to the Switch later, but please be aware that Sony are being Sony and won't allow cross-save. So you could start a game on PS4, try to play it on your phone, and it just won't work. So what I've been doing is playing on PC during the day when I can, and let's say if I'm watching TV at night, I'll just open the game up on my phone, and I can just do some menial tasks like resource gathering, or going ahead and preparing food, or sending my characters on expeditions that all require a time countdown. Once I go ahead and make these recipes and I play the next day, all these food items are ready for the next day, so I don't have to worry about inventory management or resource gathering. I can just get right into the game. Having this freedom of cross-save is absolutely amazing, and it's so seamless and perfect. And I'm really excited for Switch owners to get this, because you can go ahead and play on your PC and then go into handheld mode on your Switch and play in bed or play in front of the TV or something. This game would be perfect for the Switch. When I first tried it, I went ahead and opened the app, and it was exactly where I was in the PC game. Everything I did on my phone, it translated and went right across to the PC. It is absolutely seamless, and again, this is all for free. So look, I've covered a bit in this video, however, the game goes so much deeper. I've purposely kept it vague. I didn't want to go ahead into all of the menus and all of the game items and currencies and resin and all that sort of stuff. It can be somewhat overwhelming. I definitely found it overwhelming when I first started, and I had to look at a few guides just to get my head around it. So would I recommend this game based on my first impressions? Absolutely. This is one of the only games where I've sat down for 20 hours across 2 days just to play it. I usually get so bored of a game once it's 20 to 25 hours in and I just stop playing. I cannot wait to get back into this game. The story is really, really entertaining. The characters are all very, very likable. And the barrier to entry for this game is so low. There is no barrier at all. If you install the game and you don't like it, all you need to do is just simply uninstall it. You haven't invested any real money into it. And having the ability to play on your PC and then going onto another device later on, it's so seamless and it just makes everything so simple. It really is just a shame that Sony refuses to open up the PSN so people who play on the PS4 can play on different accounts or different devices. So as I said before, it is kind of overwhelming at the start with all the menus and currencies and resin and converting things. I still don't fully understand everything yet, but I'm slowly getting my head around it. I'm not even a fan of anime, so I kind of stayed away from all the promotions of this game just based on the thumbnails and all that sort of stuff, but the game has just sucked me right in. The story and the characters are all fantastic. They're all very entertaining to watch. The range of missions so far is astounding. And again, this is an entirely free game. Everything is so versatile. The variety is just nuts. The visuals, although sharing a resemblance with Breath of the Wild, they're just stunning. The controls and combat are very tight and responsive and it all feels very, very rewarding. And it's extremely fun to mix and match your abilities with other players to see what can actually happen. There are a wealth of main missions to do, side missions to choose from. You can pick up missions wherever you want in the world for NPC, and just exploring the world is so fun in and of itself. So look, I've rambled on enough about this game. Obviously, if you haven't got the game already, get it. If you're not a fan of anime or don't really care for it much like me, I recommend you still get it. If you like Breath of the Wild, get it. This game is free. You're never going to lose a single cent on this game. Again, as I said before, this game is absolutely free. You don't need to spend any money onto it. The barrier to entry is so low. You could try it. If you don't like it, uninstall. There is no loss at all. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this has convinced some people to go play the game. It has fast become one of my favorite games of all time. Again, if you do want to see me play this, I stream this on twitch.tv/PixelSean. All my other social links are down in the description below. If you did like this video, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I really would appreciate that. And I'll see you in the next video. If you do want to go ahead and add my user ID, that is in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Feel free to add that. We can play together in this game as well. I'm on the Asian server. But yeah, take care guys, stay safe, and I hope to see you in the game. Alright, bye.